Apparently, a group of sharks is called a shiver. I only know that because of this little guy. This is the BLE Shark Nano, and it's definitely not a hacking device at all. It is just for security research purposes only. That is what InfiShark told me when they sent it to me. And inside of this tiny unassuming device is some serious power to run attacks against your own Wi-Fi and Bluetooth devices. You can do things like a deauth attack, which is where you force devices on the Wi-Fi to disconnect from the network. Criminals use this all the time against those cheap Wi-Fi security cameras, which is why you should always hardwire your security cameras. You can gather information about the Wi-Fi, capture handshakes, and spam the Wi-Fi with lots of fake Wi-Fi names. You can attack Bluetooth devices and even create fake login pages to see if people in your company are putting the information on random Wi-Fi, even though they know they're not supposed to. So this is some real power, which is basically small enough to fit in the palm of your hands. But you know what's even more powerful than this little guy? Is a whole bunch of these little guys, and especially when they work together in a coordinated attack. This is where the new Shiver feature comes into play. I mean, it's like getting attacked by a singular shark is bad enough, but imagine it called its buddies over as backup. Well, that's not gonna end well. Let's start with something simple before we get into the real world attacks. Well, here you can see I've obviously got a whole bunch of these little devices. I just want you to check out the screen. So you can see the screen, there's a little inverted screen. So it's a little white background with black writing. And let's check out the screensaver. You can see it's a little cube that's kind of floating around here. They all got it. There's the two. All right, so you can see they've all got the same thing. Let me just zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so now I take my one device, doesn't matter which one. I go into the settings. I'm going to display. I'm going to go down into the inverted screen. I don't like the white on the black. I like the black on the white. And I'm going to go down to where it says kind of the style of the screensaver. And I like the DVD. That kind of screensaver looks pretty cool. So that's it. That's all I do. I set it on the one device. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the Shiver option. So let's get out of that. Go to the Shiver option. And I'm going to go to the screen, which basically allows me to sync. And it says, right, from which device? I want from this device to which device? To all the peers, or I want specific ones. So I've actually labeled them A, B, C, D, E. And I'm going to say, no, I want to all of them. I want them all to get this thing. Then I can choose what kind of things I want to send them. And in this case, well, I want to send the screensaver settings and the display settings, just so you can kind of see how this thing works. All right, let's go. Once I've selected that, let's click on send. So before we do that, let's just make sure. You can see white on black. You can see the cube floating around here. All right, well, let's go. Click the send button and start. Once I do that, I check each one of them. They all get it. Look at that. The screen instantly switches to my new settings. And if we give it a second, then the DVD should start popping up. There we go. So you can see one device, make the changes, synchronize, essentially send all the information to all the other devices, and they all get it. Right, super simple demo, but visual enough so you can see that it does actually work. Now, it's time to step it up. Imagine you were out on your own company's Wi-Fi network and you were going to do some testing. You could easily set these up all over this place, especially in those rooms which gets locked at night, like, those secure rooms. And then you do this. Let's go into the executing the attack. So under the Wi-Fi, I can do a captive portal attack. I can scan the network. I can do a deauth attack, so everything kind of pops off the Wi-Fi. Or I can go do a handshake capture, so I'm going to get the information, and I got the access point spam. I'm going to get a whole bunch. Let's go to the one that's visual again. So I'm going to do the scanning of the network, click on scan, and every single one of the devices now goes out and is capturing information about their surrounding Wi-Fi that they could see around them. Obviously on my desk, I've got them all together, but think company networks, think events, things are spread all over the place, and they're all gathering information like little bots out there and sending it to your device. And now from your main device, you've just got access to the entire network's information. To be super clear, you're not hacking anything, you're just capturing information so that you can plan your next attack. But look at that, that's pretty cool. Yeah, hackers do a lot of recon first. They first have to understand the information about your network before they can decide on the right vector to get in. I mean, you could also do this if you want to. Another thing you can do is an infrared attack. So here I've got a TV on in my hotel room. I'm going to kind of lay this device out right here. And then I'm going to step out of the room. And again, I'll show you why this is actually not just an irritation thing, but this is a pretty valid vector of attack in some places. So let's just first test it. So let's head out of the room. The TV was obviously on before I left. Do not disturb sign still on the door. Cool. And then let's go down the hallway and kind of see the range of this. And then when we're ready, all right, so I'm out of the room. TV's in there. TV is on. Run the attack. Let's go back into the room and see if it actually worked. And TV is off. Yeah, so this may seem like a lot of harmless fun and no real value, but hypothetically speaking, let's just say this happened where all the TVs kept switching off in a hotel lobby, for example. And then, as if by magic, a technician shows up that was sent by head office to fix it. And it's got the ladder and the clipboard and everything. And let's just say, hypothetically speaking, they just let him in, walked around in the back office, and nobody bothered to ask any questions. I mean, he was there to fix the TVs. That would be pretty bad. And let's just say those people would need to go through mandatory security training again. All right, one more attack I think we can do, and there's this business event happening, so...
Now, to be super clear, as always, I'm not going to do anything illegal or anything dodgy or anything to interrupt the actual event itself. But we know that these big events always have very sketchy Wi-Fi. So I'm going to put up a little captive portal, and all it's going to do is offer free fast Wi-Fi, or maybe VIP speaker Wi-Fi only, something like that. Let's just see how many people actually go in and put in their details. Of course, I'm not going to capture anything. This is just more to show and bring awareness to the fact that you shouldn't really use Wi-Fi in the first place if it's free.
Alright, we're back. So, you notice how easy it was to hide these devices all over the building? Well, in the first 20 or 30 minutes or so, 12 people tried to connect to my fake Wi-Fi, and all it did was just redirect them to one of my videos that was all about not using public Wi-Fi. But here's the interesting part that I was super impressed with. When I launched this attack, I was actually eating lunch along with a whole bunch of other people at my table, and secretly kind of pushed the button under the table. Instantly, the devices started to talk to each other, and they started kind of running this attack. Now, for me, I had a beautiful alibi, a whole bunch of witnesses all eating lunch together. So you can kind of see where this technology is going. And again, these are great for education purposes only, and I can see perhaps writing some custom software, and then somebody can really go wild with this. And trust me when I say criminals and hackers know about this stuff. It is us regular people who don't. So before you come at me for why are you exposing this kind of stuff, yeah, because you need to know that this exists, which is why I make the point of explaining it, which is why great companies like this make these devices accessible so that we can learn that the threat is actually real and you don't get caught. And for the love of everything, please make sure you just don't use free Wi-Fi. Use your phone as a hotspot. And if you have to use Wi-Fi, just use a VPN. And if you're really serious about your security and your privacy when you're traveling, check out this video right over here. Give the video a quick thumbs up before you head out. And I'll see you in that video. Let's go.